Good afternoon, and welcome to Nicole's Journey, episode number 11. And yes, it has been a while. Sorry about that. It's been over just shy of 2 weeks. Unfortunately, or fortunately, some things arose. Most of them pretty good. Biggest one was my youngest son turned 18 last week, so all my children are grown up and adults. I don't look too bad for someone who has like adults as children, do I? So, anyways, um, so that happened. A few other things happened. Positives, not very many negatives this week. Worked a lot, and that had a lot to do with why I kept trying to get the videos out. But then some other things happened, and I wanted to get everything in together for today's. So first things, let's go with some personal stuff. Normally I do some shout outs at the end, and I will today too, but a big shout out to my friend Amanda. New top, no, she didn't buy me a new top. She gave me a whole bunch of clothes, and it upped my wardrobe. It doubled my wardrobe. I am so happy. It probably saved me hundreds of dollars. Yet I still had fine time to look and shop yesterday. But I didn't buy any clothes, just a new purse and some new shoes. And the big one yesterday was it's finally done. Here they are. Look at that. Very, very important to me. It was probably the biggest thing I wanted to do once I came out public to everybody. I always wanted my ears pierced. And I grew up in a house where, for me, my father was very masculine man. You've got to be a man. You've got to, cut your hair short. Although I do like my hair short. Shave every day, which I still do. So maybe he was going a different way. I don't know. But it was, be a man. So, got them done. Earrings are done. They're in. They got to stay in for 3 months, which I'm okay with. They're nice. I like them. And it starts to add to everything for me. My counselor has signed off on her part. I'm still getting counseling, but signed off on her part that I am ready to do the hormone replacement therapy. So this week when I have my appointment with Dr. Massarella, we will talk about HRT among other things. But hopefully we'll get those hormones starting next month. I'm ready. So let's start with today. So we're going to talk about a couple things today, and if some of these videos overlap, it's because these things are very important, and it's also because things come up during the week. We're going to talk about hate. It's a bad word, but unfortunately it's out there, and we will talk about that. And we'll talk about acceptance, and support. Very important. So I'm going to save the good stuff to the end because I like to leave on a positive note. So let's start with, we're going to lead with a negative note. This week I succumbed to Facebook chat rooms or topics and in the comment section and discussed with people things that get me riled up. We heard this week about the couple that got a photographer who said, I'm happy for your wedding, but we can't in good conscience do your photography because you're gay. Yeah, you can't do that. I'm sorry. You know what? If you don't like it, just say you're booked up, can't do it, bad week, off, vacation. And people are saying, well, they shouldn't have to lie. Yeah, but you can't be openly hateful. Basic human rights. So I got into a chat room, and this guy tried to tell me that the Catholic school cannot have can tell people they can't be in their schools if they're not Catholic. I debunked that on him because yes, they can, because they're publicly funded. So therefore, we talked about that the churches cannot marry gay people. If they're in the congregation, you have a hard time because that's basic human rights again. What they can say is, Joe and Jim are not part of our church, or Tammy and Tamara, pretty much the same name, sorry, can't be because they're not part of the church. So he didn't like that. He then told me to look up Ben Shapiro and watch his video how he debunked genderism, and a few other things due to facts. So, when you're doing media stuff like this, and in any situation, you do research so that you're not hit with a fake news moniker. So I did my research, got out YouTube, watched Ben Shapiro, had a shower after, brushed my teeth because the guy is disgusting. He basically said that sex and gender are the same thing. They're not. Sex is based on, your sex is based on your physical appearance and what you're born with, either male genitalia and female genitalia, and that has been proven by many scientists and many biologists. Gender is how you feel from your brain. You have a computer up here. This is not a computer down here or up here. This is. And it tells you how you feel, who you are, what is right, what is wrong. You know, it tells you everything you need to know. Sometimes we follow it incorrectly. Case in point, for 50 years. Followed it incorrectly. It kept telling me that I was a girl. I kept saying, society saying I'm not. So I said, okay. So first of all, he's wrong with that. So first point, already thrown out. Second of all, so then, of course, because someone in the video, and the video, by the way, if you look at it, it actually says he's right. It says he debunked everything, and he didn't. He basically said, he went around in a circle saying, no, sex and gender are not the same thing. They are. They're not. I mean, they're the same thing. They're not. Then he said that you're a human being, but you're wrong. And I hope you can figure it out. You have mental illness. Well, I don't have mental illness. Not with this. I might have it with other things. But I don't have mental illness. And I was talking to my best friend Jennifer today. We were out for the day, and she made a good point. She said, well, that's not fair. If we're going to sit there and put transgender people into mental illness, we're gonna fill up the mental, which is already in trouble, mental health situations in Canada, United States, with people who don't need to be there. We're not mentally ill. We feel how we feel because we are. So I take the analogy. We all love, well, I do at least, and a lot of people do, love chocolate chip cookies. And I'm talking about the ones you bake. You get the big tube, or you get them and mix them up. And you line them up on the pan. Not every chocolate chip cookie is made the same. They don't look the same. Some are bigger with more chips, some are smaller with little chips, some are squishier, some are harder. But you know what? They're all good. We love them all. Just because they look different and may have a small different taste, but they all taste good. They're good. And that's what we are. We're different. We are a society of man dates back 5,000 years. We're not all going to be the same. So Ben Shapiro, what he does is he hates genders. He hates transgender. It's not a lie. This man hates transgender. Silver spoon in his mouth. Mom and dad were in Hollywood for producers and stuff. Lived a sheltered life, probably like this his whole life. And I don't like gays. You know what? Probably something happened. Doesn't like gays. Doesn't like transgender. Probably has some issues that he's going to have to deal with. He says we have to deal with them. Nah, we've dealt with them. You know what it is? It's called evolving. We are who we are. Statistics say there's 2,700 LGBTQ people in Canada. Yeah, there's a lot more. There's a lot more. Because there's a lot that are afraid to come out. Ben Shapiro doesn't understand. And I'm not just picking on him. There's a lot of people that hate transgender. And Ben uses simply the fact he uses statistics and logic, he says. But really, he's wrong. And if you watch his videos, they contradict themselves many times over. Then there's religion. And listen, I'm going to say this once, and I'll make it very clear. I am not against religion. I believe everybody has a right to be spiritual and have their higher power, and whether it be a religion or whether it be anything else, it's okay. But when you use your religion to hate, you are making fun of the people that you're hating on, and you're putting down your religion. Religion is not hateful. Religion is love. But people like to hide behind the religion because they're angry, because they don't like something. And they use the Bible. The Bible is one of the most interesting written books of our time. Easily interpreted many ways. So, the Bible is kind of like the United States Constitution. It doesn't make sense in certain places. It contradicts itself in some places. So the bottom line is, when it comes down to hate, if someone hates transgenders, or hates lesbians, or hates gays, or hates bisexuals, or hates pansexuals, or even people who hate straight people, and they're out there, it says more about you than it does about the person. As a matter of fact, it says everything about you and not about the person. I am still me. I was out today with my best friend Jennifer, who, when I was robbed, dated for a long time and loved her then and love her now. And we talked about how I'm still the same person. I was listening to the Jays game today. They blew it. They were up 4-2 and lost 6-4. I got mad. And she laughed. She goes, same person. The bottom line is, you have to be yourself. It may take you 50 years, 70 years, 10 years, 8 years. And we have to stop saying, well, kids don't know they're kids. You know what? I get the understanding that when they're little, we can talk to them, we can, but we got to let them be themselves. Don't try to push them in the other direction. Because then what you're doing is you're pushing hate. Especially if you have someone who is gay and the family pushes and they push back the other way and hate gays, and you know they're gay. You know they are for the way they talk and act, and you feel bad for them because they're not allowed to live their lives. Society is getting better. This generation and many generations around now are accepting. I was out today, not an issue, not one thing bad. A couple little looks, but I could have been just my hair was flying up, and could have been the fact that I was wearing a mask or whatever. But we all were wearing masks today, actually, in Hamilton. So, hate is a learned thing. We learn hate. The other thing about religion, and I'm not pushing back on religion, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about religion. My gender, how I feel, was not a choice. I've said this before. I would not choose to get up in the morning and spend 45 minutes in the shower, in the bathroom, and doing all the work I have to do to look as beautiful as I do. Because I'd rather it be simple. But it is who I am. Religion, though, that's a choice. You choose to be religious. You choose to be a religion. And if you say, well, you don't choose to be Jewish, sure. Jews convert to Christianity all the time, and vice versa. We've got lots of examples. Sammy Davis Jr., Rod Carew. There's lots that convert and go to other newer religions. You can't use religion as a form of your hate. If you hate someone for any reason, skin, gender, sexual orientation, whatever, that's about you, not about me. So we get to the next part, the fun part, the good part, acceptance. I was overwhelmed this week by hearing that people were waiting for more episodes of Nicole's journey. And to me, that showed me more acceptance than I've ever seen. I've said this before, I was at 149 friends on Facebook. I chopped it down to that because there were some people I didn't think would want to be on the journey, or I hadn't talked to them a lot or whatever. I'm now at 177, I believe. I haven't lost any of the original 149, and I've gained a lot more. From people from my work, from friends, family. There's just been a lot of additions. And it has been great. That shows me acceptance. I've said this before from a few friends that have said, I don't understand, but I accept and I support. I don't expect you to completely understand. That's why I'm doing these videos. So you will understand or get a concept of an idea. The biggest ones is I've gotten a lot of questions, and they're good questions. I had a teammate at work, a workmate, work teammate, whatever, who asked me, "How did you know? When did you know? Are you gay? Are you whatever? Or like, how are things going? How did you decide?" And I told him, as early as 10, society pushed things back for me. I am not gay. I am a straight woman, which means I like men. I also like trans women. That's me. We shouldn't have to define our sexuality. But that's a question he asked, and I totally understood it. Very, very respectful. Amazingly respectful. I've had questions from other people on Facebook. Do you mind if I ask this question? Go ahead. If it's bad, I'll let you know. That's not a question you ask. No one has asked about anything personal. Like really personal. And just so many other things positive come out of it. My friend Melissa, she works, I worked with her. Actually, she was doing my job and then left to go do a PSW job, I believe in St. Catharines. And I took over the Minoir. And we talked the other night. She gave me some pointers, and actually I used them today. And they were wonderful. And we talked about my eyebrows, and she told me about her friend who does them. And I'm going to call tomorrow, and get an appointment this week to get my eyebrows shaped. So acceptance leads to networking, leads to things happening. Because in all, we're good people. So asking questions are good things. And I've always said, go ahead and ask. And if you feel like it's intrusive, ask it on Facebook Messenger, call me, text me. If I'm at work, say, hey, can I ask you a question privately? If it's bad, I'll tell you. And if you think, well, I thought it might be bad, you know what? It's still better to ask. I'll tell you. Things you don't want to ask is, what about the fact that you have the thing between your legs? You have 3 kids. You were married. How can you? Don't ask those questions. Because you know what? It's a long story. And it's not your business. All I can tell you is I felt like this for a long time, and society made me push it back. And now I am who I am. Other than that, you can ask all kinds of questions. You can ask, what's your style? What do you like? I'm more into clothes now than I ever have been. I'm into hairstyle. I can't wait. I go back in about a month. And I can't wait for Rachel to do another good job, and something, maybe we'll do something different this time. You can ask about the HRT therapy. How does it happen? Where does it go? People ask me, and I know they're interested. How much does that cost? The answer is it's covered. And yes, I know people say, oh my God, it's covered. It's covered because it is dealing with a health issue. It needs to be dealt with because it's someone making this match this. The pills, you have to have a benefit plan. If you don't, they'll work something out, because it's for people who are on Trillium or on ODSP. Those things can happen. If I want to use surgery, that is covered. My laser surgery for my face is not. I have to pay that. So there are things. It's an up and down situation when it comes to money. And I just realized that my fan was on the whole time, so hopefully this won't be too bad to listen to. I'll actually probably listen to it, but you'll have to go through it. Sorry about that. Anyways, getting back to acceptance. Acceptance and support. The best thing you can do for anybody who comes out trans is support them, and then try to educate yourselves, and that's what these videos are for. Understand that they're going to go through a lot. Now, that being said, I've been told I'm brave. I have a hard road ahead of me, and we're there for you 100%. First of all, I don't feel brave. I feel like it's something I had to do, that I couldn't let it go any further, that I couldn't push it back, but I appreciate that. The long road ahead, if I want to make it that way. But here's the good part. My friends out here in YouTube land and in Facebook and in any other social media, work, whatever, you've made this easy for me. I have a great support of friends, group of friends that is beyond belief. You've made it easy for me. You've made me acceptance. The more that the more I go out, the more confidence I get. And I'm very happy about that. The biggest thing we have to take from all this is don't hate someone for who they are. 5,000 years. Society's been around, maybe even longer. 70, 75 years, maybe? Average? It's a drop in a bucket. Live your life. Be happy. Be happy who you are. If you're straight, awesome. If you're a lesbian, awesome. If you're gay, awesome. If you're bi, awesome. If you're trans, awesome. You can be anything you want to be. Except a Yankee or Red Sox fan. I can't handle that. Anyways, just kidding. You're happy, you're happy. As long as it's legal. As long as it's not hurting anybody. Animals, children. Live your life. Live your life. So, that being said today, I hope I got through. Basically, hate. If you're hating someone, you need to take a step back and find out why. Now, if it's someone who's done something wrong to you, I get it. I get it. But if you're hating someone because it looks like a guy, looks like a girl, I think he's mulatto, I think she's black, I think he's gay, I think she's gay. If you're hating for those reasons, you need to take a step back. Because I'm telling everybody right now, society is changing every day. 30 years ago, I couldn't have done this. 30 years ago, tough. 30 years from now, we all need to get along. We all need to be happy. The Ben Shapiro's out there, and the people who are trying to stop transgenders from getting served in businesses. So they put out a sheet of what to look for in a trans. Look for height. Well, I'm 5'10" and a half, and I've got about 3 or 4 nurses, all female, born with the genitalia and born with it up here, who are taller than me. Adam's apple. Almost hard to find. And I've seen girls who you can see them. Facial hair. Sure, you can see a little bit coming through. But I've seen some older women. Yeah. There is no way to tell, and we shouldn't. You don't want to serve someone because you don't like them, and just don't serve them and tell them you're busy, whatever. And for those old men, those old white men out there who say, we're being put aside. Yeah, because you're not rolling with society. You're sticking back, and you want to be a TV family. You want to live in Ward and June Cleaver's world. Bad news. Ward and June Cleaver, in real life, probably didn't exist like that. Life is not a television show. Well, except Shameless. There's some people I know that Shameless is like. But stop trying to live in a bubble. Expand your horizons. Look at the world. Progress. If you don't like something, then don't deal with it. Just walk away. Wave and walk. You don't like Chinese food? Don't go to a Chinese food restaurant. You don't like Greek? Don't go to a Greek restaurant. You don't like a certain sports team? Well, don't watch them on television. Stop the hate. Educate yourself. Be a good person. Are we going to have bad days? You bet. But minimalize them. And be good to your fellow man. All right. So that's it for today. Shout out time. We already said to Amanda and my friend Melissa. Shout out to my best friend Jennifer. Had a great day with you today. My daughter Katie, yesterday, awesome day. Went with me to get my ears pierced. Shout out to my sons, Josh and Will. Love you as always, and of course the rest of my family. And big shout out to my friend Tim at work, who asked me all those wonderful questions this week and was so respectful. Thank you so much. So have a great day. We'll be back in a couple of days. I'm going to do another one probably Tuesday. We're going to talk about what I might be going through in the next month and some of the changes and things you might see, and how you can help someone who you know is transitioning. Thank you very much. I love you all. Have a great day. Love you. Bye.